Must be coming near bedrock. Where's bedrock? What? Really? Am I that bad? Apparently I'm such a bad parent with my robots that they just they run away. Hello and welcome to Infinity Evolved on the FTOG server. I really hope people enjoyed the previous video where we took on the runic dungeon, and if you remember the episode before that, I was working on the rail, and I said we'd get onto it in the next episode, so I'm a little bit off, but it has given me some time to actually think how we're going to do it and plan things out. As you saw at the end of the RailCraft episode, I built the roundhouse behind me. In the middle, of course, we've got the turntable, so that things get on the tracks. We're actually going to focus on getting the items from this mob farm all the way into Town Hall, which has changed a little bit since you probably last saw it. So let's go have a look and see how it looks. So let's turn them up a little bit more. Hopefully I won't run into anything. I haven't got any signals in place yet. So I've joined up with Thor's track, he's finished up the rail out to his B area. And this is his 2B station. I have flipped, all these switches are currently all manual, so I've hopefully flipped this into the right direction, yep. So as you can see, there's spawn, and hopefully we'll go down here, yep, here we go. And then we pop out up here. And we'll be heading into Town Hall, which will be the final destination for where things are going. And as you can see, it's changed a little since you probably last saw it. And let's just put an idle on there for now. Pop out. So we'll go down here and have a look around. Ooh, ow. So as you can see, they spent a bit of time doing things up, changing things around. And of course all our mob drops that are coming from the various farms will be going into here and filtering to the various chests that we can see here. If we go out here, the way we just came in, of course, is along the rail bridge along here. I'm going to do the tunnel up a little bit so it looks a bit nicer than it currently does, and I'm really open to your ideas and how we do it. I do have an idea, but if you think you could do a cool design for it, please do leave a comment with a picture or something. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is I want to fix up the issue with the switch track in the Town Hall. And I think the best way of doing that will actually be with a Y track, which is similar to the recipe. So you get a standard rail and we've got the wooden rail bed, which you should be able to make right now. It gives you 16, so nice and easy. And what that does, if we put this here, it actually, as you can see, it'll create one entrance. So if the train's coming in this way, it can then be set to go this way. And then when it's coming back in from this direction, it'll then go back out that way. So it'll work a lot more better in its location where it is in Town Hall. And we probably won't even need to switch it because we can just use it as is. We also need to, of course, make a unloader, which I believe is pretty much the same thing as we had earlier, which is to detect a rail and a hopper and some cobblestone. So just one of those. So we make pressure plate first. So you get a detector. No, not a detector. What are we doing wrong there? Palm wood. That might help if I convert the wood first. One of those, and some of those. Oh, okay, they are chiseled. I really need to unchisel that. Let's do that right now. And there, like that. Put that back in there. And then, of course, we can circle it around there, and then I'll make us another item detector. We want an unloader and a hopper. So, hopper? I don't think I've got any hoppers, no. Chest. 2 chests. And some iron. So let's go, I don't know, 1, 2. So 2 hoppers. And then of course it's just 1 item unloader, and we'll also need a loader later on. So we'll make that now. And I think that's pretty much all we need. Oh, we'll use a transfer node. I don't think I've got any transfer node left. Let's have a quick look. Transfer pipe left. Oh, we've got 4. Might not be enough, but we could try. And do we have any nodes? No. I think the one that's in here is a liquid one. Yes, okay, that's fine. Let's make a node item. So one of those makes 4 of those, so we'll be done for a while. Pipe, blah blah, and while we're here, we might as well make up some more transfer pipe as well, because I'm sure we'll need it. Which is just glass, 3 glass, and we have 6 slabs. Doink, doink. Oh, what am I doing iron for? No. Oh. Redstone in the middle. Okay. Not a problem. Slightly easier than I thought. And the redstone there, it gives it 8 of those. Perfect. Probably should put my helmet back on while I think about it. Okay, so let's go automate. What else do I need? Oh, I've got the locking tracks. I think that's probably all we need. So let's go to Town Hall and I'll meet you there. Okay, so first thing we'll do is we'll place down the white track, which will just go here, and hopefully it looks like it defaults to that way, which is perfect because I want it to come around here. And the other thing I'm going to do, so if we now send him on away, that should go around there. Yeah. So we'll send this guy back around. It's not getting in the way though. Cool. So I want to probably going to be running the hole about here, I think. Is this about right? Will it be? Yeah, probably close enough. And we'll put, so we need to put the item unloader in the ground underneath it. Because it will suck items out. It was the unloader, wasn't it? No, that was the loader. How about we put the unloader in there? And as you can see, I just moved this around a little bit. And we'll place a transfer node there so that things will get instantly sucked out of the unloader and stuck into the transfer node to be going into this chest, which will then get filtered out into the controller. And then we just need to place a locking track. Oops. That's not what I wanted at all. Let's use an empty hand. Move all matching items. Transfer. Yep. And until it's complete. Yep. So when once it's empty and it looks like this, it'll unload. It'll let it continue on. Well, actually, let's put it on. Yes, excess. And that will allow us to put a filter in here later on, so that we can say keep certain items. For example, we want to be able to keep our coal and our charcoal on here because it will take them out. And we will also need to put that into there. And that says only empty out the chest carts, don't empty anything else. So when the locomotive goes past, it won't take out the items from that. And same with the world anchor when we put that on there. But we'll also put an excess on there just in case. And we need our locking track. And then we'll set that into train lockdown mode. No, we just want it in holding mode. Now the difference between train holding mode and holding mode is holding mode will hold each vehicle as it goes past if it matches the condition. So whereas train will just activate for a lot longer. So because we want to empty each cart as it goes past, we set it into holding mode. And that way when the cart goes up top, it will hold it until it's empty. Then it lets the next one go until it's empty, and the next one, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much the process of what we need up here. We may, of course, need to add some signals in at some point so we don't have multiple trains coming in. But right at the moment, I've only got the one train going on this track, so it's probably not going to be an issue. We'll just go down here. Everything else should be configured, ready to go. Yep, I think that's pretty much us. Okay, now that we've got that done, we probably want to upgrade the switches to be routing switches, which is just a matter of doing a switch motor and a detector routing. So I'll go do that when we get to them. To make the detector router, it's just some chiseled quartz blocks and a pressure plate. And of course, it's not too hard to make these guys because it's just chiseling it. So let's do that now. Need to grab the chisel and run it into there. Chiseled. And then of course we can go into here And we can run, oh, and we need to also put in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Gives us 3 of those, and probably, yeah. We will also need to make some routing tables, which is just a book of quill and some blue dye of some form, which apparently doesn't stack. And that makes a routing table. So I'll head off and meet you at one of the tracks. So put that down there, which is our routing switch motor. We need to give it this name. So we're going to call this dist is probably mob farm. It's easy enough, eh? And we'll go done. Place it in there just by right clicking. You can also take it out and make it so it only routes my trains or public trains. I'm probably fine for actually doing the public railway stuff at the moment. But of course, in this case here, we're actually routing the mob farm to the town hall. And so we may need to change things around later on, possibly. But what that will mean is we will be able to, when a train comes through that says it's for town hall or the mob farm, whatever it's routed for, it'll switch the track to go that way. We don't need that anymore, obviously. And that way, all it's going to do is have the label on it. So, we also need to, what is the other thing called? I think it's called a ticket, which is pretty easy. It's just a piece of paper and a gold nugget. And these are gold tickets, which you can name. So I'll go make one of those, and I'll come back in a second. Okay, so I made a golden ticket, and the first thing you need to do with your golden tickets is give them a destination. So this one's going to be called Mob Farm, just like we had in the routing ticket over there. We stick it into here, and it will actually it'll permanently name this train as Mob Farm. And as you see, it puts a little name up there, so you can see where it's going. If we go down here, just double check that it is called Mob Farm. Just double check. Mob Farm, capital M, capital F, yes. Hopefully, what will happen now is we can send the train this way. I'll just get him in slow mode to make sure that he's going to do what I want. Hopefully what will happen is he'll hit the routing switch and immediately be turned into... There you go, look at that. Cool. I'll hop him. Okay, so that works perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the other couple of switch tracks along here, which are going to be required for us to be able to do cargo. Probably the more difficult one will be this one here, because of course it's going to need to switch. It may need to switch for multiple reasons. For example, Thor's stuff is all going to come back as, well, Thor Gal's stuff is all going to come back as spawn, but various different bases because he's doing passenger transport, which means that when it comes along here, it'll need to send certain names that way, and other names will need to go this way. And the way you do that, if we just look at the one that's over here, so we'll take this one out. You can separate your lines. So we could also say destination is the witch farm. And we go done. And now that'll send anything with a destination or a name of mob farm or witch farm will now go down this path. So I'll do those now, and I'll come back when they're done. Okay, So we've got the routing done and we've got the town hall done. We can check those two things off. The next thing we actually need to make is the way of loading up from the mob farm. Now I was thinking of going down a different path and playing with robots. Now robots are a new thing from Buildcraft, and I actually got the idea from watching Link and Toddy's video. So I recommend going out and watching their videos because I'll just cover off some basics on how it works for what we need here. And we'll just be making one of these little robots here. Very easy things: diamond chipset, iron ingots, and a redstone crystal. This redstone crystal, by the way, does take quite some time to craft. And the entire time I've been recording this episode, I've actually had it crafting, and it's still going. So with the guy, we're actually making one of these redstone boards for the carrier, just to move items between inventories. And to make the basic board is just a piece of redstone encased in paper, like that. We then go upstairs and stick it into the programming table, into here, and select the carrier, first one there. Click on that there, and it will then function the same way. It uses the lasers to make up the programming table. It doesn't take too long, luckily. And how's this guy going? It's just about done. And that is done, is it? Yep. So that's the board we're using. And what I'll do is I'll wait for these guys here. I'll wait for the robots to craft up, stick it in the integration table of the robot, and come back when it's all crafted up and ready to go. Okay, so before we get too far into the robots, we're actually going to need to make another machine. Not for part of this, just so we've got power, and since this is a public project, we actually need to make up we want to use public power, which Toddy has set up machines for. So we're going to need to make a magma crucible, mainly so we can get the what's it called, ender receiver, I think, the ender receiver here. And of course that's not too difficult, but the resonant energy cell frame requires enderium. Now these guys we've all done before, so they're not too hard. The enderium does require a little bit more than we've actually gone through. The pyrophene dust, not too difficult either, we can do all that. The enderium blend, however, requires shiny metal, and it requires resonant ender, which requires a magma crucible to be made. Not too difficult. Once we've got the magma crucible, it's not a problem. It just requires, and then we just need to put some ender pearls in there. And I'll come back when I'm ready to make this piece. Otherwise, everything here is pretty much standard. Leadstone energy cell is just some lead and some glass, and a block of redstone. Nether brick, easy enough. And a reception coil. So pretty easy. So what I'll do is I'll make this up, and once it's done, I will then come back. So I've got the ender receiver, which I have named public. I have an transfer node for energy. I have the robot, which has been labeled as a carrier, or made into a carrier. I've got 4 landmarks, some cobblestone kinesis pipe, and we also need to make from BuildCraft a couple of things. One of them is a map location, which is some paper surrounding yellow dye. And we also need to make something which I thought was on there, but obviously not. Boo, it is under boo. No, let's try BC docking station. We need a docking station, which is a golden chip set, some iron and some iron ingots. Also some ore gates, which aren't overly difficult to make. They're just iron chip set, red pipe wire, and blue pipe wire. We'll need one for every pipe or docking station we have, because this will give the instructions to the robot. The only place where we will need a slightly more advanced one, which will probably be fine, is emerald, which is a little more complex, as you can see here, but not too much. We just need to, it needs to be able to have multiple things, because of course we're going to say to work in the area, which requires a specific. The others are just accept and provide. So I'll craft some of those up as well, and then I will meet you at the mob farm, and we'll start working on actually setting these up. Okay, so this is the little area I'm thinking of docking the station in. Probably needs to be tidy up a little bit, just because it looks a bit ugly with dirt around it, but I could do that off camera. As you see, we're right underneath the water, which is actually the water from the mob farm. So if we go up to here, I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, there's the mob farm there, and we're right underneath it. I've made a small, just take this guy, a small hole here. And the way Grok is currently doing this is he's dropping the items down from the mob farm into a chest above there. And then that transfer node that you can see there is picking the items up and sucking them in. So what I'm thinking we might do is kind of keep it the same, but have our little friends actually come in, get triggered, they go up, they pick their items up, bring them down here. When there's no signal, it'll continue on the normal way. And then we won't have a problem with excess items. And the train can sit here for a little while, and then off it goes again. So the first thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need to put down our cobblestone kinesis pipe. And we'll probably put that, let's stick it here. Probably about here. And we need to put down a transfer node. Now, hopefully I don't need a wooden kinesis pipe to come off this guy. And if we put our public power into there, it should start receiving power. It does. Awesome. We also want to put in a docking station. And you can put the docking stations on the side or on the top or any direction. And when it comes to the power, it'll be the location where the robot thinks is home. In this case, we'll probably put it put it there. And as you can see, it'll allow you to do that. And then we will put a emerald gate. So this needs to be the gate that this needs to be on it needs to be on the same pipe as the docking station, and then you can configure it up. So if we go into here, we need to configure it up so that on a redstone signal, actually on no redstone signal, we want to set it so that the load and unload is set. Now, probably actually need to set that first, don't I? So what we also need to do is we need to place some markers in. Now, these are basic Buildcraft markers, and to make them, it's just a lapis electron tube. And you get 4 of those plus a redstone. And you can go into here and we can place a marker in to say this is the edge. And we'll do that probably there. And we need to place 3 of them, so let's place the other one there. Alright, yes. And it's right on the edge of the farm. Go into back up to here. We need to place down the last one at the height we want it to go to. So in this case, we are going into here. And right on the edge, that's not helpful. Let's place it probably at the height of the chest, a little bit higher, probably about there. Like so. And we'll fall off there. And if we go back under again, and you right click on the corner one. Did I do that right? Yep. So you right click on there, it should make a red square or rectangle around the area that has been selected. Now if you select the wrong corner, it won't do it. It only select the 3 that are actually closest, which could be a problem. But in that case it's fine because of course we know that's there. And you want to get your map location, just a blank map location, which is just yellow dye surrounded with paper. And right click on the landmark, and that should set the landmark to be the square. As you can see, it's set to that square. There is also a zoning machine, which you can see here, which will allow you to configure a whole area, a chunk of area, which is a little more difficult to work with. And then in our emerald gate, we need to place that in the working area section. So that's actually that one, sorry, working area. And then what will happen is when the signal is off, it'll work in that area. It will select things and pick stuff up and all that sort of stuff. Now, what we actually probably should do no, that should be fine actually. So the next thing we need to do is place down a... Oh, that's not going to work. That is not going to work at all. So let's just shift right click that, is it? No. Can I take it off? I can't take it off that way. Okay. We'll go the easy way. So place down the pipe again. Just realised we're going to have a thing there, so it's not going to work well. So place that not there. I'll place it on top. I have a funny feeling it doesn't want to sit on top. Do it in a second anyway, so that's fine. Place it there. Dunk. And of course we need to place that's iron gate, not the iron gate, we want the emerald gate. And I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to set this, as I said, to redstone signal off for now. I might change it around so that it detects when the train is in here and only works then. But for now we'll do it this way. So we want to work an area, that one there. And hopefully if we place this on here, it'll charge up. Yes? No. Okay, well that's fine. But he's actually ready to go. So place. Oh, we need to place a extraction pipe on this. Now, unlike most Buildcraft machines, it does not require any form of power to extract it. That will come from the robot. Place the docking station there. And we need to place a ore gate on it. Now, as I said, these don't need to be the emerald gates, because you can actually give it, you don't need to give them anything extra special. We just need to say that if there's no redstone signal, the redstone signal is off, we want it to, where is it? Accept items, no, that's the one going in, provide items, and that's so if there's no redstone signal, then it will provide items to the docking station. If we now go down, actually while we're up here, we could take out this guy now, because that's reset. And we'll take the quick way down. No, it didn't hurt. Okay. And we also need to put in one of these pipes. There you go. So that should be now charging. Yes, he is. Awesome. And we also need to put down the item loader, which will go directly above the track. So we'll place it there. And much like the other pipe, we need to place in a pipe. However, because this is an input, we don't need to have an extraction pipe, just a normal pipe. We need to put an ore gate, and we also need to put a docking station. Put that on there, and we set this DI to be once again a similar thing. Pipe empty, redstone signal off, and if it's off, then in this case we want him to accept items. And somehow he has already picked up ender pearls. I didn't even see him leave. How weird. Is that what we're after? I think that's what we're after. Working area, map location, yes, yes, yes. And of course that guy's ready, that guy's ready. There we go, now he's doing something. Excellent. So as you can see, he should be unloading, yep, ender fragments. In the zoo. Which must mean there's actually items in the chest which haven't been unloaded, but that's fine. And so he's just going to go up and down and constantly unload and load things. When he needs power, he'll come back to here. So what I'm going to do now, we can actually take these guys out as well. Now, I think the only way you can get rid of this red line is to actually log out of the game, which I'm going to do later. Next thing, of course, we need to do is we need to tell it that if it has any items in it, so let's go into here, place a track like that. Another plan is the train comes in this way, so that should be fine. We want to place a normal track there for now. And holding mode should be fine. This guy, we want to see, you see he's got items now. We probably want to set it so he only, well, probably fine. We want to release when emit redstone if no items were moved and the cart is not empty. Partial is probably fine. Move all matching items, yes. So that should mean that when the train comes along, it'll actually stop there, wait for the items to be loaded in, and then drop them off. And of course, this guy here at the moment is still extracting. We could do that, and it will slow it down a little bit. And now he'll actually pick up useful things. But as you can see, he's carrying them back and forward. And you can have multiple ones working it, and they'll just take up one docking station each. So if I wanted to, I could have 2 docking stations on the extraction pipe here, and they'll just go between the pipes and drop things off. And the same down here if we want to. Or they'll just pick up one item and move its way through. Now it does look like we've got a problem, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah. Okay, so there's a buildcraft machine, which means it does drop items. Okay. We could probably change this here to be inventory empty, inventory full, set items, space and inventory is probably what I want. So while there's space in there, he'll load it up, otherwise it will just do its thing. So for example, we take the slime out. There's now space in there. You can see that the gate turns on, and he will click in a moment and hopefully go up and start collecting. Sometimes they can take a little while to kick in. We can of course force them to wake up if we want to, but that's a little server unfriendly. But we could go set this to redstone signal on. Wake up. I don't think I've got. No. Oh, there you go. He's doing it anyway. But I could put a lever on here and then trigger it for a lever. So what I'm actually going to do, and yet now you can see of course it's turned off, so he won't put anything into this item loader. I'm going to get some more robots and stick them along here, so there's actually quite a few going on. And possibly also set up a redstone signal, so when this guy is full, it'll start pushing things down again, much like it is currently. Let's give this guy a full test run. Let's see what happens. Now, that guy's set the wrong way. Yeah, so let's do this. We have enough stuff, so if we go running, now it does take a little while to start back up because it doesn't have any steam, but hopefully it'll head down here. Here he comes. So the idea I'm going for here is that when he comes down, when a train comes into the station, when a train comes into the station, you would normally see people loading and unloading the machinery. There you go, look at that. So it stopped, and it will fill that up until it's got all the items, and then of course it will move on. Okay, we don't want to set the partial, then let's set it to when it's complete. And we will stick in a zombie brain. So what that will actually do is excess means that it'll keep one zombie brain into the loader. Everything else will sit in the buffer, and it will keep holding the train until everything in the buffer has been emptied. Now, if we go back into here, we're not following it. Hopefully, it has gone down this way. There it is. So we're just going to take a bit of a ride so we can see where it's going. This will be a good test of our routing tracks. Of course, we're going pretty slowly, but I'll speed it up in a second. Hopefully, we go straight ahead here. Like that, perfect. And then hopefully we'll head down to Town Hall on a second as well. Awesome. So we can speed this guy up. But we're coming into the drop-off point. And we should stop. I think it's trying to unload me. No. Okay, so it is unloading. I don't quite know what it's unloading. No, it's not. I think we might have a similar. Do we need to? How do I configure that? Ah, same thing. So we need to put in a zombie brain there. Just so it extracts everything. That looks better. And of course it's unloading. Perfect, look at that. On it goes. Hopefully here we will check. There we go. Perfect. Of course we can hop out again. Should go down that way to the mob farm. Go into there, collect some items. And I'm also going to make it just test this out. Alright, so... Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. Let's grab... Okay, I haven't got my wrench and my crowbar on me, so I need to go and make a crowbar. And I'll be back in a second. Okay. Yeah, my crowbar died, so I needed to actually make a new one. So we want to place a chest cart into. Can I not click on it? There you go. I want to check. The chest cart's in there, so that automatically releases this guy and doesn't try and fill him. And of course, we'll set that back onto there. 1, 2. At least that's the ferry. Why are you not working? Running. Oh. Well, I wasn't anywhere near it. So, yeah, I did say that if you got too close to it, if you walked in front of it, it would kill you. I don't quite know what happened there, since I wasn't actually walking in front of it. But it did kill me. Let's remove that. However, it does look like the train is working. Well, I might have overestimated how much stuff the mob farmer is actually generating. This has been sitting here a little while, and it's only filled up less than half the chest cart. And of course, what's sitting here, it's eating away at water and charcoal. So what I thought I might do is I would make a locomotive track. Now, it's not too hard to make a locomotive track. All you need to do is 2 signal lamps, which we haven't covered signals yet, but that will be in a future episode. Which is just some green, yellow, red dye, some glass panes, and some glowstone dust and redstone. Combined with your normal recipe will give you 16 locomotive tracks. And these things here have multiple modes, so what I'm thinking I'll do is take out that track, stick it there. We're probably going to have to send this guy on his way, which I stick that there, put that on there, and I'm going to get out of the way. Because I don't want to be killed by the train. Oh, okay, we do that too. Oh. So I don't want to be killed by the train and then get killed by the entranceway. So they are. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick one there. And what you can do with these guys is you can set them up to actually turn the train off. So if we set that to, so the green is go, the yellow is idle, and the red is off. And they require a redstone signal to operate. So I'm just going to, I might stick that under the ground. It's, where's that guy? Just so it looks pretty. Of course now I don't have stone in there. Oh well. And we'll stick the other one here. And what I'm hoping will happen is it'll come in and it'll turn off here. It'll go into stop. Come around here. Take that guy. In a stop that will have enough momentum to come along here and actually get to here. Uh-oh. Let's just move out of the way. Ah. So as you can see though, it turned off, which is what we want. Not quite like that though. I'm going to set this guy up to automatically start anyway. I think I've got a solution. Let's just try that. So that makes that guy turn on. And what I'm thinking we might have to do, let's just, not that one, not the train. Can I access the loco without running into it? Let's go stand over here maybe. Yes? No? The running, move out of the way. Seem on his way again. Hopefully this time he won't come back as quickly. And what I want to do now is I'm thinking, if we hit this guy here, currently it's in lockdown mode. If we put it into boarding mode, like this, so it's got the arrow going this way, I think it actually gives a kick to it as when it's ready to go. So of course when it's not powered, it will load. It will hold the train. The moment it gets power, unlike holding mode, where it requires the train to do its own thing, it'll actually give it a small push. And if there's enough carts on the rail, it should push it far enough around that it will come around here and hopefully get to here without needing any end direction. So even if the train's off, it'll still go around. especially if you've got multiple carts, as we currently do. Now, while we're waiting for the train to come back, I'll just show you some of the other stuff I've done. As you can see, I've added in another docking station and there's another robot here. There are now 2 docking stations up here on the input input pipe, and there are also 2 docking stations up there. So when the train comes in, so when there's a train ready to be filled, it'll issue a redstone signal, and that's actually to allow the rules in here to actually say, okay, I can't fill this train, let's power this guy. I've also added a detector item, no, it's not a detector item, it's an advanced detector here, just saying minecart and steam locomotive, and that way it'll also, it's just another, it's a way of ensuring that when it's something it can't fill, it'll actually it'll still send a ring signal and send it on its way. I'm very paranoid at the moment about the train. And I've added a detect item here, which says if the cart is full. So when the chest cart comes along, when it's full, it'll send it on. What was previously happening is this guy here would empty its buffer, and when it was empty, it would then issue a redstone signal, but the cart might not be full. So what happens now, of course, is it should allow it to actually do. It should mean it will fill the whole train before it sends it on the way. And what, of course, we've just added on is we've added on the stop track and the start track, which will mean that when the train comes in, it will turn off, and it won't use any more coal or water while it's waiting to be filled. Which should be a lot more efficient than what we were doing, which was just waiting around. Now, something else I've done is I've added in these 2 little purple black blocks, which is just the texture pack playing up. If I turn the texture pack off, these are actually the correct tracks. These are limiter tracks, and they will change the speed of the train or the locomotive when it's going past them. I've also added in some directional detectors so that when the train passes over them, it'll activate the limiter track, because the limiter track does require power to run, or sorry, redstone signal to run. So what will happen is the train comes along here, it'll come up to here, and the track will detect it's going that way. So it'll say, okay, yep, there's a train. Ooh, there it is. And as you can see, it was going quite fast when it came in. I'll just sleep here. And of course, it works the same way. I've done that in a few places. Let's actually go see if this guy's doing what we want. So he goes quite slowly now around here. I'm not sure what will happen if he's not powered. If he runs into me, but I'm not going to try and find out. Okay, so it's filling up, so we probably want to, let's just test this out. In fact, let's test it out by going anything. So if it's got anything in there, it'll let it go. And it looks like, that worked. So we got enough inertia, or enough inertia out of that to actually push it along, which is awesome. And as I was saying, the limiter tracks will change the speed, just so you'll see in a second. He will just zoom up, and you can see the proper texture there before it does that. Okay, I think I'll call the episode here. As you can see, we now have a train that is able to transport items from the mob farm to town hall. Please remember, if you like this episode or you found anything of use, do hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. If you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, or just want to say hi. Leave a comment down below. But otherwise, have a great day, and see ya!